Welcome to the Good Intention Show, coming to you live on the UI Radio Network. The Good Intention Show is sponsored by the United Intentions Foundation at unitedintentions.org, a virtual community where you learn to create, track, and manifest your passions one intention at a time. Look for us on Blog Talk, Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, and many more. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram under United Intentions and on Twitter at Higher Intention. Yes, this is the Good Intention Show, where you will meet people who live life intentionally and hear about things they're not telling you in the mainstream media. And now, here's the truth seeker, the snake charmer, a legend in his own mind, broadcasting live all over the universe, your host, Mr. Tim Ray.
Welcome back. You missed us? Well, we missed you. And it's almost to the end of the year. Say goodbye to 2018. We only got about 3 or 4 more days left, do we? Like,
I think so, man.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, are you? I kind of want to slow down, man. I don't want to go so fast. 2019 just seems too close to 2020. Who would have thunk we would be functioning in 2020? Growing up.
Tell me about it.
You know?
Science fiction.
Yeah. I thought the 70s would last forever, you know? I just can't imagine 2020. It does seem like we're in an alternate universe, and you say that word 2020. And the world hasn't blown up yet. People are still loving and caring, for the most part. Although the dark is getting darker and the light is getting lighter. So, hopefully we'll bring more light into your life. Because, yes, why not get lighter? Why get darker? Let's embrace love, light, higher frequency living. Why not? I mean, it's like Neo. We've been down that road before. We know where it leads. Just the self-gratification, the moment of enjoyment at the sacrifice of something bigger and better, your greatness. You just got to have the discipline, I guess. Create the new neural pathways, which we talk about all the time on the show, and the new year. We have new products, too, coming out. You're going to love it. We have so much coming on in 2019. Well, maybe I am kind of excited about 2019 now.
Yeah, how could you not be?
You know? All right, I've embraced 2019. I'm letting go of 2018. And if you all have some New Year's resolutions, I want to hear about them today. Give us a call, 678-495-4345, because we are going to be talking to a very special guest, Dr. Fitness USA. Talk about creating intentions, New Year's resolutions. How about getting in shape the right way with Dr. Fitness USA, Stephen Hersey. But, you know, it's going to be a great show. We're going to be getting all into that. And you're going to like this gentleman. He's fun. He has that kind of a Northern Yankee attitude, which I love. You know, a lot of people don't like Trump because of that, you know. I mean, I never had a problem with that with him. I just don't like the fact he works for the cabal and the New World Order and all, but, you know. Yeah, but outside of that, I mean, I like his little, you know, his attitude. You know?
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I guess it doesn't go well in the Me Too movement, does it? But, you know, what do you do? We try our best. Hello, WDJY listeners, 99.1. Welcome, and so glad you guys now are listening to our Awaken Atlanta show, which starts again, Frankie, what, January 7th or something like that? 8th, January 8th. Back on air, 3 hours a day. You watch. It's going to be great. You want to download our app, go to uimediaapp.com, uimediaapp.com. Not only listen to Wake in Atlanta every morning, but listen to all our shows. We have 4 or 5 more new shows coming on in January. I am excited about 2019.
There you go. I just wanted you to catch up.
Yeah, I'm getting caught up. You know, Cheryl Andrea is starting her show on our network, and it'll be our first show that's being broadcasted from afar, from the website, and from the Zoom or Skype, whatever we call it. And her show's going to be on conscious parenting, dealing with these indigo kids, these rainbow, these crystal kids, how to raise them, how to parent them. Think how, and every day talking about, not every day, but once a week talking about that. Imagine that. Imagine having that ability to do that. I'm so excited about that as well. And having all these other shows we're adding onto the network too. We have we got our WMTA listeners out there, 107.3 in Kentucky. as well as our welcome Metro Atlanteans on Talk 10 FM. You guys, we're just rocking and rolling. Welcome, guys. I'm really excited about what we got coming up here, too. And later on today, we got Dr. Amy Daries. I love her. Everyone should have a little Dr. Amy Daries in their life.
That's right.
Whole Healing comes on. Interviews integrative physician, pediatrician, Arlene DiMarco, MD. And she gets all into the integrative medicine, especially with dentistry. Because, dentistry and MD and regular medicine is really all interconnected with each other. I don't know why I know why we separate it. Separate, divide, and conquer. But it's all connected to each other. All your teeth are connected to your organs through meridians. So you affect one of your tooth, you mess with one of your tooth, and then it affects you're messing with your organs. So we need to really connect our energetic flows and our associations with people, too. So much to share with you in 2019. We only have a few more days left in 2018, so hang in there, guys. So let me bring in our guest, and I'm going to let you, Frankie, or one of you guys share. Shahi, you want to share on my Facebook? Thanks. So Stephen Hersey, a.k.a. Dr. Fitness USA, international body designer, not builder, designer, founder of the International Institute of Body Design. So, Stephen, come on in. How you doing? I'm going to call you Dr. Fitness, if you don't mind, because I like that. Dr. Fitness USA. That sounds so much better to me.
Sure, that's fine.
So
it sounds good to my ears, too.
So, Doc, as a young man in his, looks like you're in your 40s, so you've been doing fitness for how long?
Well, 55 years.
Wow, how does that work, man? Anybody add the math up there? Can you add the math there? So he looks like he's in his 40s, but he's been doing it for 55 years. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I'm
going to be 71. January 1st, 1940. Well, I was born in 1948. Yeah, it's outrageous.
Can you believe this? If you're listening only to the show right now, I'm so sorry, but go to our app, uimediaapp.com, download it, and watch it live right now, and you will see a 71-year-old man who looks like he's 45 years old. No kidding. Wow. So, have you always been into fitness, or something that you kind of learned as let's say as a teenager? Was teenager a focus for you? Because teenagers all want to look, boys especially want to look good for the girls, right?
Well, I was at kind of a skinny, weakling type of physique, and then I would read the Charles Atlas cartoons and things like that. And there was that moment of consciousness where I decided that I needed a better body, so to speak, or I wanted to be more manly or more appealing to the world. And it started way back when, and it's continued ever since. And I've created a passionate mission to bring strength training as the number one anti-aging component for health. Before that, it was people. If you think of Arnold or you think of bodybuilders, people always think of bodybuilders, but bodybuilding still has a certain image that comes up, and people will go, oh, I'd rather do yoga. But actually, bodybuilding is the catalyst for just tremendous change in how people look at anti-aging, and it's a component for bringing your strength up 20 to 30%. And for those people who actually say, oh, I don't want to be a bodybuilder, or I don't have to go to gym. Well, parts of your family or significant other, people who have epilepsies, people who are war veterans, people who have injuries, they would not be alive if they weren't able to go to the gym and work out. So when people say that, it's a lack of education.
Yeah, when you said an additional 20 to 30% increase in your strength, that's a pretty task to stay and to actually hold on to, right? I mean, you're looking at 30% increase in your strength and with your program. And how soon can somebody actually see that difference?
They can see that difference in in as little as 20 minutes. For some people, it might take longer, but wow. The magic happens right away.
Wow. Well, we're going to get into that a little bit, but I want to talk a little about you first, Dr. USA Fitness. You're a fascinating man. Where'd you grow up?
Montreal, Canada.
Oh, okay. And then you moved down. You moved down here, and to where are you right now? You calling from?
I'm in Los Angeles,
L.A.
California.
Okay, so that's a great
Sure.
that's a great place to be because I think everybody's fit there either by fitness design or by medical surgery. So one or the other is
Well,
going on there.
Venice Beach, California is like the capital of the world when it comes to bodybuilding.
You're right. That's where Arnold used to hang out, Venice Beach, right? That what's that gym called down there? Do you ever go there?
Well, sure, I'm a member of it. It's like Gold's Gym in Venice, California. Gold's Gym.
Wahid, you ever been to Gold's Gym in Venice? That's where Arnold used to hang out.
No, I always wanted to, but
outside
Muscle Beach,
yeah, Muscle Beach, you know, cranking it out. I got to put that on my list. When I come visit you, Dr. Fitness USA, we're gonna go there if that's okay.
How about coming to see me in my office first so we can take a look at your body?
Yeah, he sent me
right back to business there. I like that.
He sent me a request. I have to do all the steps right because he's trying to help me out. Which thank you very much. And I have to take pictures of me, in my underwear or my boxers or whatever. And I'm like, man, who wants to see that? Man, I don't want to see it. So, no, I think that's great. And I will be following through on that too, Doc. So that's going to happen in time. I just have to get past these holidays. But so here it is. You have this program, in which we're getting into the details of it. But
Sure.
First, you have this drive and desire. I mean, did you find out that way back when, or is this something that's a job for you, or is this your purpose?
This is my purpose.
How do you know that?
I'm just into it intuitively.
Okay.
When I look at a person's body, I already know the solution, how they could be different.
Right.
Now, it might take a while to figure out the ins and outs, but I just know the solution ahead of time. So when I'm looking at somebody, it's not that their body is faulty. I'm looking at them, they're in a pretty pathetic situation because their body is not going in the right direction, and there's no education out there that's going to change it, including personal training, which is basically a myth.
Right. See, that's what I want to talk about, the myths here in a second. But
Sure.
So what you're saying, though, basically when you see somebody, you're designing them in your mind. Like, wow, if you only did this, this is how we could look like. It's almost like you should have one of those programs where you have like kind of the before, like plastic surgeons do, you guys, we have before what you look like now and then how you could look like. I think that could be a very big motivating. Listen, I just gave you $1 million idea. Just thank me for it later on. All right.
Beautiful.
But
what happens if we have that person before and then we have the actual factual after picture?
Oh, that's even more impressive. I agree. Yeah, that's even more impressive.
Because on my website, drfitnessusa.com, you'll see some videos or pictures, and you'll see people who took my program 30 years ago. And if you compare what they look like now and how they look today, that's amazing. We have Susie Lapierre, who's a personal trainer out of Anytime Fitness in Canada. She was amazing. She came in when she was 23. Now, if you look at that picture, she looks almost identical, teaching other women, but she's almost going to be 60. How do you explain that?
Jeez, you make Jack LaLanne look like Pee Wee Herman, don't you? So I think, you ever meet Jack LaLanne?
I sure did. Well, they say I'm the new Jack LaLanne, but
I agree.
We're a little bit different in the sense that I'm bringing an educational component to what he started with and what's really available to people worldwide. There's a tremendous shift in the way that the new generation looks at strength training.
Right. Well, that's what I want to get into. When we get back from break, Doc, let's talk about this new way of looking at strength training, because I love to work out, and a lot of the guys and the girls that I hang out with love to work out too, with weights, not just aerobic, but anaerobic workouts. So let's talk about the difference between your anaerobic workout and the rest of the world's, and why the new Jack LaLanne is making an indent in here and showing people really what type of shape and design you can actually have for your own body. Now, at any age, doesn't matter how old you are, at any age, you can design that in a very short period of time. And that's even nicer, right? We're talking to Dr. Fitness USA, Stephen Hersey. You can reach him at drfitnessusa.com. and check out the rest of the story. When we get back, we have a lot more to share. We'll see you in a second.
The United Intentions Foundation is proud to announce that we're beneficiaries for City Gala, a foundation that supports humanitarian, philanthropic, and educational efforts. The City Gala is produced for the purpose of promoting equality. The United Intentions to Higher Education is proud to announce that we're beneficiaries for City Galas, a foundation that supports humanitarian, influential individuals to become educational efforts. The City Gala is produced for the purpose of promoting equality, assisting in access to higher education, funding mentorship and entrepreneurship programs. The Gala also pushes influential individuals to become activists and face the challenges of current events. We've been fortunate enough to be selected as one of the foundations slated to raise money and garner support from influential and remarkable people. To get involved, visit www.citygala.org and learn more about this wonderful foundation. You can also join their mastermind club and have access to top executives and influencers from different industries to help you network and build your brand and business. We're honored to be a part of City Gala, and we hope you join the journey to success with us.
All right, we are back with Dr. Fitness USA. But before we talk about fitness, before I mention more about this new idea of how you could work out, or this long-time idea of how you can work out, I want to mention the spiritual workout, Ensoulment, with Natalie Zaytouni. Natalie Zaytouni, I interviewed her a couple of times, and she has this incredible new book out called Ensoulment, Discover Your Soul's DNA Experience, the Soul of the World. And it's all about integrating the feminine body of knowledge, integrating personal, interpersonal, collective, cosmic dimensions, and allows us to connect deeper with the soul and the soul of the world. And, you know, we don't take that into account, how we got to work out our soul. We got to acknowledge, number one, that we have a soul. And then we got to focus on how we can expand our consciousness on this and how our soul really wants to be part of our life. It's just that when you ignore something, we don't give it credibility, we don't give it attention. And it's always there. It's making a lot of decisions for us we didn't realize. So learn about this with Ensoulment, and you could go to nataliezaytouni.com, and learn about how to connect with your soul if you haven't yet. Most of us hopefully have, and realize what it is, and how everything has a soul. Everything has a soul. Isn't that the coolest thing in the world?
I love it.
And we get no attention because we get lost in this media and everything else, and how it's just an unfortunate distraction. Everything's a distraction. But I'll tell you one thing. When you focus on the body, the soul and the mind show up. You focus on the mind, the body, and the soul show up. You focus on the soul, the body, and the mind show up. The body, mind, and soul really are integrated aspects of who we truly are. And if you are just focused on just one of the three right now, if not all three, the other two will show up. You just got to be aware of it. And speaking of showing up, let's talk about that with Dr. Fitness USA, Stephen Hersey, and international body designer and founder of the International Institute of Body Design. So, Doc, we left off talking about your difference in your program, how you can increase a 20 to 30% increase in strength in a short period of 20 minutes, and how when you see other people working out, you must be a very frustrated man because they're not following your routine, which you have seen to be proven history and proven track record. I would assume that. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're just more like, are you the guy who goes up to the guy in gym and goes, listen, man, hold the dumbbell this way. Dumbbell. How do you hold yourself back from saying things like that?
Well, you know, it's kind of funny that you say that because when I go to the gym, it's kind of a blast because it gives me an opportunity to work on my attitude and be acceptance of all people, so to speak. But here's the humoristic way. When you go into a dog kennel or even a pack of dogs, a lot of them look pretty ugly, okay? Yeah. Now, even the ugliest one, if they have just a tiny smile or a wagging of the tail, how can you help but not love them? So when I'm in the gym, I see all these men or even women working out, and it's a horrifying experience because they really don't know what they're doing. And in a way, they're destroying their body, or they're on the wrong machine. It seems like women who work out, when they lift 10 pounds, they think that's working out.
Right.
Okay. And the men, even though they're lifting more than 10 pounds, are actually gritting their face and being in a lot of pain, like, ugh, all that. And they think that's working out. And in my world, body design is a beautiful waltz with your body from inside out. So when I personally go in the gym, first of all, I have a program by Dr. Fitness USA. And if it's like, let's say, a chest exercise, I'm on a machine or a chest press machine that's biomechanically comfortable and working in the direction of natural movement to my body, whereas the man next to me, they're choosing machines that are actually destroying their body.
You mean so when you say destroy, it's building muscle, but it's destroying what?
Well, in every gym you have, let's say you're working your chest, there's at least 5 or 6 different types of chest press machines.
Right.
So when men sit on a chest press machine, as long as they're grunting and groaning and pushing and frowning and things like that, it's possible that there's a machine next to them would be a much more better suit for them to be working on.
Okay.
But you see, people, when they go in, whether it's a woman or a man, when they work harder and they sweat and they're in more pain, they think that they're being kind to their body, or they're actually what they call a great workout. But actually, it's a very destructive workout.
So what you're saying is there's kind of this you may not feel it right then and there, but there's this accumulative effect over time that you're putting unnecessary pressure on bones, on muscle, on whatever it may be, because you could have worked out smarter, not harder, right?
You got it perfect.
All right.
So let me give you some idea.
Hence why we could be 71 looking like we're 45.
Now, I'm going to let you be the host, but I need to be able to,
switch sides, man. You be the host. Yeah, let's go.
Well, when you're talking to a man, even relationships, you got to praise us a lot, else we have to keep asking you to repeat it. So the thing is, when you're in real life and you meet a doctor, okay, or a lawyer, you're going to say, well, you have a certain specialty that you have, okay? What type of law do you practice? What type of doctor are you, okay? When it comes to fitness, there's different aspects. If you're into swimming and you're into CrossFit, you're into bodybuilding, once you ask a person what is it that they're doing, they'll always say, oh, I work out. And then what's magical is they become the expert. They never ask, oh, what is it that you do? See, their mind is so limited. It's amazing. See, they don't ask those questions about what type of training. Or you'll run into people and they say, oh, I love my trainer.
Yeah.
all these type of things.
Yeah. And they love them because of their personality more so than perhaps, or they're strong or they're nice or whatever it may be.
Each part of fitness has a different component to it.
Yeah.
Okay? So you can look at it this way. Okay, so you go to a chiropractor, right? There's many different avenues, and I believe in chiropractic, but they look at your spine, they take x-rays and things like that, then they tell you that your spine is out of alignment, that you have subluxations, and then more often than not, they give you an adjustment or they put you on a table.
Right.
But they don't have a program to re-strengthen your muscular structure that holds the vertebrae in place.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And in Eastern medicine, chiropractor looks like a very evasive type of treatment. Now, if you look at acupuncture, what do people do? They look at the acupuncture as very, very mystical and very internal medicine.
Right.
Because when they look at charts or they look at needles or meridians and things like that, when you go to an acupuncturist, you hope that the person that puts the needle in you is treating the specific cause that you went to see them.
Right.
So there's a different vision when you look at a chiropractor, even though they're both professional.
Right.
And the acupuncture is less invasive, and the needle can go very deep, 2 inches into the nervous system or through the skin.
Sure.
And touch places that a chiropractor can't do.
So what you're saying, Doc, is that when people go to the gym and they deal with a trainer, they're often going maybe for the wrong reasons, or maybe not the long game plan reason. They're going for the short plan of getting muscle looking good, and they're not looking at from a healthy perspective of getting a trainer or a designer, let's say, who's going to actually strengthen your muscles around your vertebrae, who's going to strengthen your, who's not going to break down bone or break down atrophy over a period of time, but actually increase it. So as you get older, you're actually exponentially getting stronger and also looking better.
Perfect. So you got the right idea. So
most people, would you say 99% of the people going to the gym are really not going for the right purpose? Maybe that's a little high.
If they're going to the gym, I'm smiling. When I go to the gym and people are coming to the gym, that's positive, okay?
Yeah.
And there's today there's no one set person. They could be big, heavy, small. But the fact that they're going to a gym puts a smile on my face.
Right.
So let's go back to what's a body designer? A body designer, let's change the word body designer, engineer. What does an engineer represent? He knows the inner works of what makes things work.
Right.
Okay? So when people say I go to my trainer or I love my trainer, what are they really saying? They're saying, I'm going to the general doctor, but I'm calling him the surgeon. See the distinction?
Yeah.
So body design, you can look at me as a surgeon. So it's not that personal training is negative, but they're limited in the scope that they run their business.
Yeah, they're not going to be going that in depth. They're not.
Most of the time when they give you exercise, it's to burn up the clock. Today, trainers give you a lot of everything, and what I call it is a state of confusion where you're actually not going anywhere. Yeah, you're sweating a lot, paying a lot of money, but it's not where you start, it's where you end up.
Right.
In body design, in my system, we teach people how to be independent of anybody else, to create a system that comes from inside out, produces certain results, and becomes sustainable for the rest of your life.
Right. So fascinating. So I get it. I think you articulated yourself very well to where the distinction between a personal trainer and a personal designer. You're more of a surgery approach to it, and where the other one's more of an internalist doctor, internal doctor who focuses on the generalities of it. Go ahead. You going to say something?
Exactly.
Okay.
There's also another component is there is a difference in the way that women and men perceive exercise or conversation.
Let's talk about that. What are the differences?
Okay. Well, because women have the ability to think and feel simultaneously, how they go through life is that, well, let's go back a bit. When women stay in their intellectual mind 24 hours a day, which is easy to do, you have children, you have work, things happen. When they stay in their intellectual mind 24 hours a day, they actually weaken their immune system. So multiply that by so many years being in there. So this is where they go to protect themselves. There's a disconnect between their body and their intellect. So this is where they go. They go intellectually. So that means that they go outside their thinking process.
And they're ignoring they're ignoring their body.
And they live there.
Yeah, they live there. Yeah.
Even if they work out, they still work out from their head.
Right.
Okay. Or you have the other person that's so weak because their system is feeling based. When I'm interviewing women, their strength level is down maybe 30%. That's astounding. So their bones are weak. their emotions are weak. They overreact to things, and then they try to think about it afterwards. So you got a couple of things going on when you're working with women.
Well, absolutely, because like you're saying, because they're tied to the emotions, the feminine energy is, that you're saying is, this is fascinating, that you're saying that because if women find themselves not in touch with their emotional aspect, which is in touch with the body, they're more so lost in their head and on intellectual, the mind aspect of it. There's an atrophy, I would assume, that the body's not getting attention that it needs, and since, like you said, it does become weaker. It does have more of a likely to break down, right?
Okay, so we're going to go, how many world coaches, authors, psychologists, therapists, how many of these professional people are still talking intellectually to men or women?
Oh, all the time. In fact, I want to talk about that. This is a really hot topic right now.
Well, this is interesting.
Well, we got to take a break first, though, Doc. And when we get back, let's get into that. Let's get into the differences of how staying in your head, because men stay in their head all the time too. So how emotions and feelings affect our actual strength. I mean, who talked about this stuff? This is great stuff. We're talking to Dr. Fitness USA, Stephen Hersey. You can reach him at drfitnessusa.com. Check him out. And so much more to come. We'll be getting to the emotional and feeling aspect, how it gets ignored and how important it is for our health and for our workout. We'll be right back, guys. Do not get lost out there.
And many more is on a mission to raise the vibration of the planet, one person at a time. Her work has impacted many people to identify their true purpose to create more fulfilling careers, relationships, and health. If you want to reach your highest potential and change your life, call her today. Coach Kat will help you get what you want and create a roadmap on how to get there. She likes to say, if you want to change your life, you have to ask yourself the essential questions. Get the life you want today, be the best version of yourself, and live your life to your fullest potential. Call 310-498-2356 or visit coach-kat.com to find out more. Mention you heard this on UI Media Network and receive 20% off.
All right, we are back, and we are talking about the feminine energy right now. How, if for women, if you do not stay in feeling, in connection with your emotions, and you're in your head all the time, it actually will affect your body. It actually will affect your workout. You'll be less strong, probably more likely to atrophy, right, or entropy. And you'll have a chance. You will not get the full workout, and over time, it has a breakdown. But it's funny because men have feminine energy too, Wahid, right? So it's just.
Oh yeah, it's very interesting what the points he brought up there.
Yeah, because no one thinks about the body, mind, and soul. You just think about the body when it's all, again, everything's separate, but nothing isn't separate, So yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's a lot going on right now. And we're talking to Dr. Fitness USA, Stephen Hersey. We're going to be getting into the specifics of that. But Wahid, let me hear about your workout real quick here. When you were working out, because you were pumping iron, did you ever take into account your emotions?
Not at all, man. Just the emotions, just to emotion like focused. Not any emotion, but it was like mind focused.
Right.
Like I can, create a visualization, like I see myself pushing the weight.
Yeah.
Like I know I can do it.
Yeah.
No matter the exercise, but nothing had to do with any emotions.
Right.
But to his point, when I used to train people, I would take in consideration of my clients' emotions. But that's a whole nother story, because I mean, most of the time what they did was just it was like counseling sessions,
right?
Especially for the women.
Yeah, because I mean, guys we're lost in our head all the time.
Right.
I mean, so I think it's definitely a woman issue, but I think it's a masculine energy too, as well. I mean, we're going to find out. So, so Stephen, when we're talking about the feminine energy, the emotional aspect of that, and it seems to be that if a woman finds herself in their head all the time, they're not connecting to their emotional body. So you're saying it's different for men, and we'll get back to women here in a second. But it's different.
Okay.
You're saying it's different for men because they're not so tied to their emotions as a woman is. Is that you kind of implying?
Okay. When you're younger, it's ego. Okay.
Yeah.
But when you're talking in your late 40s, 50s, 60s, the hormones change in the body and you're producing less testosterone. So working out is actually a feminine experience. Anytime a man takes care of himself, he's combing his hair, he's cutting, let's say, his mustache, whatever it is that he's putting on his clothes, that's feminine. So men don't look at going to the gym as a feminine experience. So they're still working from an ego point of view of trying to do more than they can at the moment. So we call them their used to be's. That means they can't lift the weights or do the things they used to.
Yeah.
But that's their memory. So that's what I mean when they're in the gym. They're trying to do an exercise, so they can't really use the weight that they're supposed to. So they distort their posture in trying to lift the weight more. But it's not significant enough to really be positive.
Right. Fascinating.
So they need to be more brain-muscle connection. They need to know how to get in those comfortable pair of shoes or how to get into a machine and biomechanically adjust their body so it's very comfortable to the movement of the exercise.
Right. So fascinating. So so the male, because you said we lose testosterone as we get older. So you're saying you don't have to be a used to be. You could actually increase as you get older, your strength.
Well, I'm not doing any cardio. I don't do any stretching.
Wow.
How do you explain that my legs or my thigh muscles are more ripped than even when I was at my best as a younger man?
Well, explain that because we're on our edge. Want to figure that out, okay?
Well, because I know, just like an acupuncturist, I know how to dial into specific exercise that targets different areas of the muscles that have never been developed. So people, they know how to work a body part, let's say your thigh muscle, but they don't know as an engineer that to make up a thigh muscle, it's made up of several different components. Like an example would be people don't know that the back of the thigh, which is the thigh bicep, is separated in 3 different sets of muscles. They don't understand that.
Right.
See, so they'll do what they call, they'll sit on a machine and curl their legs backwards.
Yeah.
Instead of forward, it's backwards. But they don't know that's a very inefficient exercise.
I would have never known that. I do leg curls all the time. I'm laid on your belly, and that machine. So
the problem is when you lie on your belly, you're causing extreme inner pressure in your diaphragm, in your stomach. So what you perceive as being efficient might not be efficient.
Right.
Okay. Well, let's say it is efficient. What's happening is the other parts of the body are suffering. In other words, for a person to do the leg curl, now you're causing stress in your neck.
Right.
What about the lying? What about standing leg curl versus lying?
Worthless.
So what about the stiff-legged deadlifts?
Well, we don't call them stiff-legged deadlifts because that's an excellent exercise, but we always keep the knee a little bit bent. But there's 2 or 3 different ways of doing leg deadlifts. Are you working your back or are you working your legs?
No, for hamstrings.
Hamstrings,
calves,
yes. Hamstrings, straight leg. Well, I won't call it straight leg. Okay, a deadlift is okay, but what happens is if you're working the thigh muscles or the hamstrings, then you would be leaning much more forward than backwards in the execution of the exercise. But it's an excellent exercise.
So,
it's superior to the seated leg curl.
it's fascinating. So basically, we could go through every muscle part or every muscle exercise, from chest to legs to arms to shoulders, back, and all that. And we'll find out most of this. I mean, we wish we had more time, but we'll find out most of it we've been doing it wrong, or we're not efficient at it. Let's just say we're not maximizing our potential, and we're probably doing more damage in the long run than help. Was that pretty much wrapped up?
Exactly.
Well, that's just a bloody shame. All these years on Earth, and I now have to figure out how to redo it again. I mean, that's just a. But so you can work out, and like as people complain about, I can't do those squats anymore like I used to, or my back or my knees just can't handle it. It's because of the doing it wrong all those previous years.
Okay. Here's something for you. ReachYourPeak.com. Brian Kelly, he's an expert, fitness expert. He's been working out all his life. He has shows. He's a great host. After I spoke to him, he mentioned that he did have knee pain. And after I spoke to him, do you know he jumped on board?
Really? Wow.
He's the most amazing man I've ever met, because he followed through on every aspect I asked of him. He had a whole list of to-dos. He got it done. We've increased his strength in 1 week over 50%. He's gone from not training his legs, or the maximum on leg press 275. He's now doing 650. How do you explain that?
Wow.
It's only a week.
Wow. Because
wait a second, but with no knee pain. That's the shock to him.
Wow.
He was under the impression that if he lifted some weight, it would cause his knees more pain. But he wasn't on the Dr. Fitness USA's prescription.
I love that. I mean, because you first thought you would have, if I was him, like, well, I'm always gonna. I got this knee pain every time I work out. I'm always gonna have it for the rest of my life. So I either got to change, not work out legs anymore, or just go get surgery or something. But
here's another one. Here's another one, since we're short on time. Okay, so you have older men, so to speak,
yeah,
and they say, "Oh, I used to train like this, and now I'm not quite as strong today, so I'm doing higher reps,
yeah,
with less weight."
Yes.
Wrong.
I got that one wrong too.
What can I tell you? I mean, why would a guy want to do high reps?
Yeah. We want strength. We want strength. That's why.
You want to gain as much muscle mass as possible. Why would you do high reps? Unless you're super supplemented or you know what you're doing, why do you want high reps?
Right.
It's the opposite. It's low reps. And that goes for women too.
Right.
So the woman's on she's doing a straight leg deadlift, like the gentleman, and she's on a Smith machine. She's got 5 pounds on each side. And I asked her, well, how many reps are you doing? She says, well, I'm doing 15. I says, well, what? Your number is 9. She says, well, no, I need to get more defined. Okay, but you have a massive leg, right? You have underlying muscles inside, and the 5 or 10 pounds on it isn't enough stimulation to develop anything. So there's a misconception in the way people configure their weights that they're using, or the rhythm, or the sequence of exercises.
It seems much more complicated than I really ever assumed, and I think it's wonderful, because this really, if you really enjoy your workout, you could probably enjoy it even more so, because you have the rifle approach here rather than the shotgun approach, right? You're really honing in on how you could fine tune those muscle parts, but also do it in a way where you're not injuring yourself. So when you get older, you actually are stronger. I find that so fascinating. We're going to take another break here, but just to let you know some of the folks that he has not only serviced and cared and were designed, but people like Linda Gray. Remember Linda Gray from Dallas, right? Then you Sally Fields, right? Billy West. I mean, a whole bunch of MDs and chiropractors. So you're looking at Dr. Fitness USA, and when we get back, we'll get more into the staying in her head, get out of her head. I want to talk about that emotional aspect. I think it's very important.
Okay.
As well as the body mechanics and how we've all been doing it wrong. I mean, we're not thinking ahead. We're thinking about tomorrow. We're not thinking about the next 10 years. And we need to change our concept of the future, even with our workout program, connecting our body, mind, and soul. We are talking to Dr. Fitness USA, Stephen Hersey, and we get more into that when we be right back. So check him out. Why are you waiting? drfitnessusa.com. We'll see you in a sec.
Download the UI Media Smart app at uimediaapp.com to watch and listen to all your favorite shows anytime from anywhere in the world. Shows that enrich, entertain, educate, and feeds the conscious cells throughout your body. We bring you never-heard-before topics in health, inspiration, music, psychics, numerology, current affairs, controversies, and much, much more. So what are you waiting for? Visit www.uimediaapp.com and start raising your frequency now.
All right, we are back with Stephen Hersey, Dr. Fitness USA, revamping our whole concept of our workout program. Wow. I mean, it's just so much now. Now, listen, I have to say now, I'm going to get naked or whatever I have to do and take pictures. Oh, God forbid. Well, you want to do that?
Oh, no thanks, brother. I'll take some pictures after he works on you.
Yeah, right.
I'll get the post.
That's good. That's good.
And also he wants me to take pictures of my machines, like what I normally work on. So, and I'm almost embarrassed more about that than I am.
I'll help you out, brother. I'll help you out.
But isn't it fascinating?
Very interested.
Yeah, me too. So I'm going to be the guinea pig here, and we're going to be doing this when I get back. So Doc, it's fascinating. Real quick here. So most people stay in their heads when they work out. They're not really connected to the body because it's almost like a traumatic experience. When you're lifting some weight or you're in pain or it's frustrating, it's almost like we want to zone ourselves out somewhere else. That's why we have headsets and we listen to the music. We're distracting ourselves. Do you recommend that people listen to music, or do you recommend them to be totally in the present moment?
To be totally in the present moment, such as when we go to the gym, where I go to the gym, we see women who are texting or multifaceted things. They're texting, they're exercising. The gym is a place where you shut off all the outside and you stay quiet or meditative within your own body. So I wanted to explain that it's not putting people down, but there is a million ideas or books about how to be spiritually grounded. Okay? Understand that this is all intellectual information. That's adding more intellectual data to a woman's mind.
Right.
So instead of her being spiritually grounded, she's going farther away to fantasy land.
Right.
The therapists need to understand they need to send their students or their patients to a physical gym to work out so they can ground their body, because that workout is trackable.
Right.
When you don't have a workout, then you don't know who's going to interfere with their life when they leave their office. Now, in the body design system, what's fascinating is we can override their nervous system in 20 minutes by increasing their strength beyond what was thought to be impossible. And in the addiction community magazines, we are written up as revolutionary.
Right.
Because right now, strength training is the number one anti-component, but the doctors don't still have the protocol. They don't know how much weight a person can actually lift to achieve a certain result. Whereas I've been documenting this since I'm 16 years old.
So these doctors are kind of shooting in the dark, really, on what people should be doing. So they really don't have it. Like you said, they don't have effective protocols that would actually have science behind supporting it, because if they did, they would realize that they could be increasing 20, 30% of their strength, right, at any given time. So fascinating.
Exactly.
So, and I know you're speaking a lot about women. One reason because you do a lot of focus with women. You have actually some retreats coming up. You have the reboot for women coming up from January to the whole month, January 2nd to the month of 30 to the 31st. Explain why.
Exactly.
Explain why is that important, and what would if a woman did sign up for that today, what would they actually gain in 30 days?
They would be able to rekindle the light of what it was like to be young again.
Wow.
It would satisfy their appetite to want to learn or be educated more. So I tell men, the greatest thing that could ever happen to a man is to see his significant other grow younger as her hormones and her body ages through the years. And the second thing is the greatest thing that'll ever happen to a man is when his wife or significant other picks up the body design program, goes to the gym. Because what happens to men is when they're with another person, could happen to a man too, to men. What happens is as the woman that a man meets today, if they're still together as a different woman, 20 or 30 years younger, the energy system or the hormones change. The man becomes more feminized,
Right.
the woman becomes more masculinized. And what happens is because we men are visual and we see this visual change in the woman from more aging in the face, the body taking on weight, the shape of the body changing. It's very frightening for men.
Yeah.
They don't understand it and they don't know that there's something to do about it.
Right.
So, but my program can change that for them. And second of all, for the men that do go to the gym, they like looking at younger people, not because they want to pick them out, because they see youth.
Right.
So that brings it to another subject. Today, the new gyms, especially LA Fitness, which is probably the most progressive gym in the world today, they're opening up $1 million. It's more than a gym, it's a whole environment. But the equipment that they put in these gyms is up to date. It's like getting into a comfortable pair of shoes. So the younger children from 15 to 16 to 17, 8 years old, the ones that usually would be doing ballerina shapes, they're thin, they're in the gym pumping iron. How do you explain that?
Yeah.
There's not a girl that's 14 years old that's like thin. You wouldn't think she's very strong. There's not one of those girls that aren't leg pressing 250 to 350 easily.
Wow.
Everywhere in the gym, they're all training, and they love it. They bring their girlfriends, they bring the heavyweight mother, the father, because today, before in younger years, when children wanted to be with their parents, they didn't like that.
Right.
Okay? But today, when they all meet at the gym, it's very family oriented. It's very bonding in relationships between parent and child. And even if a person is overweight, if they can change their habit by going to the gym on the Dr. Fitness program, of course, it affects their children. So for those men or women that don't want to take care of themselves,
role modeling.
just why don't you do it so that your children benefit?
Yeah, sure. Modeling from that. So, so you recommend you're saying LA Fitness, that gym alone has a lot of up to date machines that you would give the Dr. Fitness USA approval, more so.
Sure, you have LA Fitness. There's a lot of new gyms.
What about Lifetime? Lifetime Fitness.
You have Anytime Fitness, Lifetime. Understand these gyms are professional, but your optional choice of equipment is very limited.
Right.
If you join a 24 Hours Fitness, that's a professional gym, but that's very confusing. That's like going in the jungle. See, so in my system, when people are signing up in my program, I do the research. It's about 3-day time span. I actually do the research of what's available to the person or the equipment, because the equipment will either make them or break them. So in the reality, I don't promote personal training gyms. Why? Because they're old school. They buy equipment. Some of them are knockoffs. They piece it together. In a new LA Fitness, you've got like $500,000 worth of machines. And what's amazing is that in most of these places, not so much LA Fitness, they're all on a treadmill in Southern California. How do you explain that? See, they're ill-educated. They can have fun. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you is you can actually have fun with your body if you had a map or a guide that lets you use the facility at its utmost efficiency.
Right. Yeah.
I meet a lot of men sometimes. What's interesting is I meet a lot of men too, but I always ask about their wife. They say, oh, she's not interested in training. I tried to talk to her. Now, here's the phenomenon. They will never say, now that I talked to Stephen Hersey or Batista Gramode, who's the highest level teacher in the world for women in anti-aging. See, it says feminine body design. See?
Yes.
And this is me, in case people don't know what it is, posture for power. They'll never say, why don't you talk to Stephen or Doug? What they do is they discount it. The men will not give the information over to their women.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. I mean, just what's the psychology behind that?
Selfishness, stupidity.
Yeah. Stupidity, yeah.
Because men actually like their alone time. They like going to the gym by themselves, or they like hanging out with men. The thing is that it's a man or woman's responsibility to take care of their body. So what happens is when they go along in life, the men are confused. They don't know how to stop this anti-aging that I talked about previously, and they don't know what to do about it. And when they talk, you see, they're afraid. If they go to their wife and they say, gee, you're a little bit overweight, and maybe you'd like to work out, they might close down the bank account.
It's all in your approach.
Yeah, you see, so I always tell the story because I watch Hallmark movies. Can't stand them, but
yeah, good for you.
Batista loves Hallmark. But in every Hallmark movie, there's a person who says, I'll never date again. Then the handsome man comes in, and the third one says, you never look so happy. See? So when I come and I talk to Batista, and I say, I want you to go to Sam's Real Estate Club, she says, I'm not interested. See, but I'll work at it. I say, well, we'll go for a drive. We'll do this. Finally, I get her to the Sam's Real Estate Club, and she signs up on it.
Yeah.
And I'm left outside the door. So you see, the women are a little slower in moving forward. But if you could just use a little bit of kindness and get them there, then they're going to hook. Now, what happens is when not everybody, but the women that I've interviewed that are 350 pounds, 400 pounds, even men that are 400 pounds, what happens is when they go in their head intellectually, they'll show up and they'll say, oh, after all these years, I really want to take care of myself. And you want to know something? And they're even hosts of shows and things like that. They do absolutely zero. Because they're in their head.
And they're in their heads. Yeah. Well, fascinating. It's fascinating conversation. Dr. Fitness USA, Stephen Hersey. This is just incredible. I'm remotivated. I'm remotivated to. I'll probably look at this weekend and get these information to you, and really curious to see what I can do to transform my workout, because I do want to be presently in the moment when I'm working out and really lose myself in my body. And that's really my body's time, isn't it? It's not my head's time. It's my body's time. And I've been stealing that from my body, and millions of us steal that time from our body every day when we go to a workout. So fascinating information. People want to reach you. I know you got the women's reboot starting January 2nd to 31st. They can reach you at drfitnessusa.com. And you got another thing coming up, or anything else?
What I can suggest is if they if they enjoy this conversation, it's the first time we're talking, and they need reclarification or they have questions, they can create a discovery session with myself.
All right. And they can they can reach you at drfitnessusa, right, .com?
No, they have to put in 30MIN.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Dr. Fitness USA, and it'll bring up the scheduler. So it's
All right.
it's
All right,
30MIN Dr. Fitness USA.
Okay, we'll put that on the link too there, Frankie. All right, Doc, hang on for a second. We're going to wrap it up here, and you're listening to Stephen Hersey, Dr. Fitness USA, International Body Designer. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Don't forget about Dr. Amy Dairies today. Bye.
You have been listening to The Good Intention Show
Am I
on
on?
the UI
Hey,
Radio
Doc.
Network. The Good Intention Show is sponsored by the United Intentions Foundation at unitedintentions.org. Look for us on Blog Talk, Spreaker, iTunes, Stitcher, Player FM, and many more. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram under United Intentions, and on Twitter at Higher Intention. Be sure to log on to unitedintentions.org, a virtual community where you learn to create, track, and manifest your passions, one intention at a time. Have a wonderful day, and until next time, live life with intent. The United Intentions Foundation and its associates take no responsibility for the opinions and statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests.